Hello and thank you so much for clicking and for watching this match reaction video. It's finished Spurs 1, Manchester United 3. Where do we start with this match really? Where do we start with Manchester United right now? Similar story to the majority of games this season. Really poor first half, slow, no urgency, no real tempo, no composure on the ball. And just lacked any kind of real energy or enthusiasm for the game. But there's nothing in it really. I thought Spurs were pretty poor in the first half. Had a lot of the ball, and then we get a perfectly good goal, brilliant movement from Cavani, and it's ruled out. VAR and the referee decide that even though this is apparently accidental, even though the arm comes across and it's accidental, it is deemed a foul, so the goal is ruled out. But to me, the problem for me is that if that's a foul, McTominay has already got a yellow card, so he has to go off. But the referee has deemed it to be an accident, so if it's an accident, it's not a foul and the goal should stand. And then Spurs go and score, and there's a possibility that we lose our heads because for the last 5-10 minutes of the first half, players are throwing themselves to the ground. It's getting a bit silly. It's getting a bit ridiculous. And, we could lose a man there when the players are losing their heads. Spurs can go on. And Mourinho, as soon as his team goes 1-0 up, they're going to sit there and defend. They're difficult to break down, or they can be, depending on what side of the bed the players wake up on. But we go on, we get the equaliser in the second half, and we kick on. Goals from Fred I think it's only his second goal for Manchester United. Cavani, brilliant move, brilliant header, and Greenwood right at the death with virtually the last kick of the game makes it 3-1. But that doesn't tell the whole story really. And like a lot of games that we've won this season, I come out of this game frustrated because we played so well. And I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say, but I get frustrated because I know that we can play that well, but the way that we start games, it cannot continue. We're so poor and so slow in so many games this season. And just when you think we've turned the corner, we take two steps back. It's not good enough really. Second half, masterclass, outstanding. The movement, the build-up play, the link-up play. I thought the way that McTominay and Fred were pushing on. I thought Henderson, his positioning, he made some really good saves. It was like commanding the penalty area. I thought Lindelof, apart from the that mistake's funny that because just before that Spurs goal, I was saying to myself, "Oh, Lindelof's doing okay actually, he's doing right," and then he makes that mistake. But I thought overall, TOTMUN in the second half, excellent, couldn't fault anyone. I thought Greenwood's introduction was the right one. Rashford going off, and Ollie deserves a lot of praise for today. We've all been critical of the way we've been playing. Even those of us like myself, who's a big supporter of Ollie, I'm Ollie in. I don't understand all the negativity that surrounds him. Especially when you look at the results, because we can't really fault the results. For me, it's been the performances, particularly in the second half of the season. And he doesn't act quick enough to change the games. He doesn't make his substitutions quick enough. Those are my sort of main criticisms with him. But he's not immune to criticism. But today, if people are going to criticise him, they have to give him credit. And I thought the second half again, we've just shown what we can do. What we can do when we get forward. We've got some top players in our team. And today we've shown that Fred and McTominay can push on. They don't have to just sit there to protect Lindelof and Maguire. I thought Maguire had a really good game. I thought all of our defence did. I thought Wan-Bissaka in the second half really good. But again, you do come away from it frustrated because you think, well, if you can play that in the second half, why don't you start games quicker? Do they not know that they're doing it? Do they, and this is, regardless of the form that Spurs are in, this is still a Spurs team with some really good players in it. I think Spurs today, considering, they're not in Europe anymore, and they're out of Europe now, they've had more time to prepare for this game, and there was just nothing. There was nothing from them, especially after that second goal went in. I thought there was nothing. I thought Kane, disappointing. Didn't really offer anything. Forced a good save out of Henderson. Again, Henderson's positioning, his decision making was really good. But other than that, really, I don't think anyone. I don't think Spurs reacted to going 2-1 down. I thought they were lethargic at times, and I don't know if you can just say, "Oh, that comes from Mourinho," or is that the players, or is that a collective? Because um, it's been a pattern. It's been a pattern for pretty much the entirety of the season, and to think that they had a good probably a good couple of weeks earlier in the season and they went top of the league. They never kicked on, um, and I don't like this sort of idea that Mourinho has passed it, because I don't know if he's passed it, but he's certainly not doing himself any favours. And has he been left behind? I don't like when people say, "Oh, he's a dinosaur," because he could win the League Cup for Spurs. They could make the top four. I don't think they're going to. But it's how they sort of how will they go on next season? Because I think it is inevitable that Harry Kane's going to leave. I'm surprised that more teams don't put a bid in for players like Son. Bale's going to go back to Madrid. I don't think he's been used in the right way, as he is still one of your top players. Um, but it must be so frustrating if you're a Spurs fan to see that week in, week out. Um, and it's happened far too many times this season where they've been in good positions and they've just sort of squandered it. And what started as a little blip, where that would happen earlier in the season, you thought, "Oh, Mourinho will get on top of this just because of the way he plays." And even if they're not competing for the title, they're going to be competitive this season and they'll finish in the top four. But it hasn't happened. And they'll be very lucky at this rate to finish in the top seven. Um, I think they're miles away from where they were. I think, from an outsider looking in, when I look at Spurs, I always used to think, well, okay, so when Pochettino was there, they had a good squad. It's the first time in my lifetime that I've thought Spurs are pretty good to watch. They're a good team to watch. They play the right way. They're competitive, and if they get a bit of investment in the right areas, the right players, then they're going to cause a real threat. But it never really happened. And every season it seems to get to like February, March and fall away. And in that season where they got to the Champions League final without any great investment, that was the time where they should have gone out and invested in new players. When they went on that poor run, it started from what I can remember from the beginning of that January of that year. They got to the Champions League final and they lost. Very lucky. I didn't think Kane looked fit and ready to play. But then after that, in that summer, they should have invested, and they made a poor start to the season. And Pochettino went. You sacked Pochettino, a young progressive manager who's changed the fortunes of your club, and now you've got Mourinho, who I still think is a top manager, but he's not. He's not going to do it at Spurs. He's not going to do it at Spurs. I don't believe that he's finished, but I believe that what you needed was Pochettino and what you needed was investment. And now Pochettino's gone to PSG. And regardless of whether anyone like myself thinks it's a less competitive league, he's going to win trophies there. They were outstanding against Bayern Munich in the week. So there's a chance he could win the Champions League. And you've been left with, a squad that's, a couple of years past its best, and a manager who's probably unsure of what his best team is. You've got your best player, one of the best players in the world, in Harry Kane, who's probably going to go to the summer. Where he goes, I don't know, but he's going to go. He's going to want to win trophies now. He's at that point in his career where I think under Pochettino he had a lot of faith, and there wasn't a lot of investment. I don't blame Pochettino for that as an outsider looking in. I think that's the people above him that, yeah, you're trying to pay off the stadium, but also you've got to think of your team. You've got to think of your team and your manager and what the manager needs. And now he's gone, Kane's going to go. It's only a matter of time before Son goes, because he's a top player. You've got top players there. And I don't think the future is bright for Spurs anymore. I really don't. I think they can win the League Cup because anything can happen. But, Pep doesn't lose League Cup finals, does he? I think this will be possibly his fourth successive League Cup final. I know Mourinho loves winning that trophy, but based on the way they played today and based on the way that I've seen him play recently, there is absolutely no chance that Spurs are going to win the League Cup and that Harry Kane is going to win his first domestic trophy, his first sort of trophy at Tottenham. So it's not going to happen. But as far as Manchester United are concerned today, um, excellent second half. Couldn't fault anyone. And I think that just about seals second place now. I said the other day, I think we need 6 points to consolidate it. So I think one more win, and I think we've pretty much done it. Plus, Leicester lost today after a late rally against West Ham. So, we're now 7 points ahead of Leicester in second. So, we're very close to sealing it. I think if we could get 3 more points on the board, maybe 4 at a push, we'll get more than 4 points. But 4 points, I think, is all that we'll need to consolidate it. But that's it today. Manchester United have beaten Spurs in the Premier League 3-1, and next it's Granada on Thursday night, where hopefully we're going to see some of the players from today are going to get a rest. I think Fernandes needs a rest. I think Rashford needs a rest. I think we've got that 2-goal cushion, and if we can keep a clean sheet against Granada, nick a goal, and then kick on from there. But it has finished Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester United 3 today. What do you think of the performance of the whole? If you're a Tottenham fan, are you worried? If you're a United fan, what are your hopes now for the rest of the season? Do you think we're going to kick on and win the Europa League, or is second the best we can hope for? If you haven't subscribed already, why not drop me a sub? Also, leave me a like, and of course, leave any thoughts, comments, and feedback that you might have on the video. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.